All right, our question of the day.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what this one is.
I was excited for this one. This one was posed with a few other questions, but I just took this one because it's enough that we can talk about it for a year straight. What is important for parents to keep in mind with student athletes and training? Now, I want to let you start this because I got a lot to say, and I don't want to take up all our time.
As far as student athletes go, a lot of times right off the bat, after, because normally the parent contacts us like, hey, you got room for so-and-so? Yeah, cool, bring him in. Right off the bat, though, I try and figure out, is this what the parent wants or is this what the student athlete wants?
Yep.
Because they will train completely differently, they will recover completely differently, and their lifestyle will be completely different. So that's what I try and figure out first, is this the parent that wants this or is this the athlete that wants this? And then the number one thing that we have to remember with student athletes, most of these young athletes are multi-sport.
Yes.
And a lot of times these athletes, their practice schedule, conditioning schedule, game schedule, whatever it may be, naturally puts them in 2-a-day workouts.
Yep.
And so then they'll have 1 day off a week, or it might not be a 1 day off. It might be, they only have one practice on
Like
Thursday.
Active recovery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can train with you. That student athlete, even though they have boatloads of energy and they recover quickly, they still need to recover.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. Now, approach with a student athlete, the ages change. Like if we're starting them really young, like getting them out of baby giraffe stage,
Yeah.
then it's about mind-muscle connection.
Yes, because, and for those of you that aren't aware, the baby giraffe phase is whenever you see an athlete that doesn't have full control of their ligaments and joints, so they're just like all willy-nilly moving around, loosey-goosey. Yes,
yeah.
And we're trying to, like you said, build up that neuromuscular control to get them more stable first and foremost.
Yeah, and then as they progress, like once they have good mind-muscle connection, so normally I think they don't make good mind-muscle connection during growth spurts,
right?
Because their body's constantly changing fast.
So it's trying to readapt. Yes.
Yeah. But then as they get older and they're, phasing out of the growth spurts, now it's time where we start working on performance, explosive power, big single leg motion, and mobility is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Mobility is huge.
And I think that goes into what you're talking about, though. If you have a multi-sport athlete and then they're also training once, twice a week in a personal training setting, like they are going to be very overactive, their muscles will be overactive, and that puts them more at risk for injuries. So sometimes understanding like you want the best for your athlete and your child, but wanting too much too fast can hinder them more than help them. And on top of that, how they're training is very, very vital and important. Anybody can train a student and call themselves a young athlete coach, but what are their prerequisites? What is their plan? Are they just taking them through high intensity movements? What is their purpose? I know I'm big on agility work, and I'm big on controlling your own body first, and then we build the strength on top of that in that regard with that one. And I've worked with a lot of different sports teams around here locally and some community schools, and I know you have as well as individual clients. And that's something where I see it working all the time, where you get one athlete coming in and you focus on one goal. It may not be the best style of training, like mentally for them. They're like, oh my God, this is boring. You have to do the boring stuff to get there. Now, I'm going to go to the other side of things where we talk about quick nutrition. If your student athlete is in multiple sports and multiple practices, don't send them to school with a Pop-Tart. Don't give them McDonald's for lunch. You are setting them up for failure. And I know that's kind of like a tough truth to have here. But if you have your kid, Sally Joe, and she's running cross country on a Pop-Tart, and you're wondering why she's placing 12th out of like 15 people, you have to look at what you, the provider, are providing them for nutrients. And I know sometimes there's a give and take on what we are allowed to do, but making any best choice to propel your athlete to the best abilities, so you're not just blaming it on their work ethic, on, hey, they need to come in here and train because they're performing this way. Sometimes they're just overperforming. Give them a rest. let them dial it back if needed, and then make sure that the person training them is a professional. And this is where we go back in, not somebody who's going to just be out there using AI to write workouts, Chat GPT over here for all their marketing. You want somebody you can trust with your athlete because they're going to be at their pivotal stage where development is constant, and it's key to learn the right way and the correct way that's going to set them up for future success in the long run there.
A little off topic here, but a lot of times with my student athletes that are older, junior, senior in high school, even pretty much anybody in high school, at some point, I like to have the conversation with them about what's next after high school.
Yes.
I don't remember what the statistics. I mean, all reality, like I know this is probably gonna hurt some feelings, but there's a very slim chance that your kid goes college, goes pro, D1, whatever it is.
Less than 1% of collegiate athletes go pro, I think, something like that.
So I always try and have the conversation with my young athletes that no matter what you're doing going forward, whether you continue with sports or you don't continue with sports, while you're in college and when you graduate college and you get into the workforce and start having a family and stuff like that, find exercise that you enjoy, that works for you, and that's sustainable. So that way, as life gets crazy, you can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's generational.
Yes.
So whenever they have kids that are getting involved with sports and stuff like that, you as a parent, or that child, once they become a parent, they can be a huge asset to their kids that begin training.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. That's all I got.
All right, cool. Now I'm out of coffee.
Me too. That's probably why I got all that.
All right.
Refill time.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Ask us more questions.